What's going on, everybody? I'm Mike.
I'm Craig.
And this is another episode of
Two
Wizards, One Table.
Today we're going to talk about some Kraken. Kraken dice.
Mm-hmm.
Mike and I are both big fans of Kraken at times.
Mm-hmm.
Many people know that for a long time I was a diehard Kraken supporter. I've slacked a little. Some of it is just because of the massive amount of releases. Financially, I can't keep up.
It's hard for a lot of people to keep up to it, so we kind of took a little hiatus. There was a little love-hate relationship at times, but for the most part, we're still fans.
We're not talking about any of that. We are talking about dice. Mm-hmm. Strictly dice.
Some of our favorite collection.
Some of our favorites. We're going to start with a set Mike and I both have.
Mm-hmm.
This is Ethereal Shaman. Ethereal Shaman was the third limited edition put out by Kraken. It originally came in the purple bag with the custom acrylic Kraken tag. It was only available with this set. There were 800 of these made. They were released March 13th of 2018. They are beautiful. They fetch a premium in the collector's market.
Yeah.
They were the second set to feature the Kraken on the D20. What I neglected to mention was we're showcasing 4 Kraken sets today, and they are all of the same colorway.
Yeah.
This was the first released in that colorway, although technically it's the second. We'll get to that momentarily. Mm-hmm. It was a beautiful set. When it was initially released, there was a lot of complaining, almost I want to say controversy.
Yeah.
But it's the nature of the set.
Yeah.
People, the renders that we saw made it really look more vapory.
Thank you, Photoshop.
Yeah. My particular set, actually, I've had 4 sets of Ethereal Shaman, and mine is curated a little bit, but it's still not quite as nice as I would like it to be.
And mine is not curated. I actually got mine out of a trade for another set that was incredibly limited. I believe it was the Winter Wonderland. It was the one that I traded. I feel that I kind of got the trade up, to be perfectly honest, but it's one of those things with the trade is all like, as long as it's even on both sides, that's all it really
Winter
matters.
Wonderland is a nice set and collectible and in demand, but I think you got the better end of this deal.
I really did.
I
was a bit shocked that he offered, personally.
Alright, that's Ethereal Shaman, which is the first in our, I'm going to call it the Shaman colorway, for lack of a better term. So, these are color-injected resin.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of acrylic sets. Most of their acrylic sets are available as 7-piece sets.
That's right.
Not the extended sets like this. After this was released in August of 2018, Kraken released what actually was supposed to be their second set ever. This is Boogeyman. It was designed and sent to the factory after Flamingo Paradise, but before Cotton Candy and Iconic Blue or even Ethereal Shaman had been released. Because of that, a small order of 500 was placed. So there's only 500 of these sets made. Mm-hmm. This is the exact same Pantone colors as the Ethereal Shaman, but these are done in a different style and in acrylic instead of in resin.
Yeah. Which is by far my favorite set from Kraken is the Boogeyman. Not only was it just the name for me, as I'm a huge fan of green and purple. And when I found out about this set, which was much later, I actually had to pay a premium price for this. And I still don't complain about it, is because this is by far one of my most favorite sets. I won't use it, but I love it.
Pricing on these two sets is hard to say, but they are a premium collectible. There's only 800 Ethereal Shamans. there's only 500 Boogeymans.
Mm-hmm.
$100 is a low-end starting point.
Yeah. You got lucky if you got it at 100, personally.
Yeah, for either of those. And which one goes for more?
It debates.
It's a hard call. I'm going to say the Ethereal Shaman because I think the Boogeyman fell under some people's radar, and the fact that it's acrylic just turns some people off because some people are resin fanatics.
The fact that you're actually seeing two sets at the same time simultaneously, just from collector standpoints, is a big deal. Like, you don't see this very often.
Next up would be the Bugaboo. This was released almost a year later in July 19th. 2019. Alright, this set is actually still available. It was available as a 12-piece set because by this time Kraken had introduced their D2s, which ups it from an 11-piece to a 12-piece. But it was also available as the 14-piece set, including the 30mm and I believe 15mm D20s.
Just to kind of give a scale reference, you have all of those. The 30mm, very uncommon. 15mm, also uncommon. But I actually enjoy the fact that they did that, just out of the pure speculation that you won't find that kind of stuff, and everybody might have a different use for those different ones. Me, personally, when I'm angry, I tend to throw the 30mm.
I like having the big ones because there are moments I pull them out in-game. I love it. I'll be honest, I try to get at least one of every die when I'm collecting. That's why I have the mini ones. I personally don't have much use for them. You'll also notice that these D20s are larger than the previous sets. That's because these are made with the RM03 mold. This is a resin set. The Pantone colors are the exact opposite of Boogeyman. It's an inverted color mix. This was heavier on purple. This is lighter on purple. The colors look a little different because the green is so dominant, and because it's resin.
Yeah, and it's resin, so you're not going to get the exact same results. I like the Bugaboo, but it's no Boogeyman. Like, just the stark contrast between the D20s is infinitely different.
And with this color scheme, I think the gold ink looks better.
It does, and I also agree with that. It's like the gold
as a personal preference, I tend to prefer silver, but in this case, I think the gold looks better. I think these would probably
has a better
look better
contrast.
Gold. Yeah. And these are still available at krakendice.com. This is Bugaboo.
Yeah, and I mean, if you can't get Boogeyman, Bugaboo is perfect.
It's pretty close.
Like, it's close enough.
The last one in our Shaman colorway from Kraken Dice is the newest one. Mike hasn't picked this up yet. Hasn't seen it in person yet.
Yeah.
This is the Mystic Shaman, which I expected to be closer to Ethereal Shaman. But I think for the most part, it's that purple doesn't quite match. The greenish, blue, teal, whatever you want to call it, it's a little more...
It's fogged.
It's a little more baby blue.
Yeah.
Something that's happened more recently with Kraken Dice also is...
adding a lot of hollow glitter.
And polishing. Okay? None of my Kraken Dice have been polished. The closest they might have come is a microfiber cloth. But no chemical treatments, no polishes, no nothing. I like my dice to be all original. The older sets...
They're pretty clean.
They're pretty clean and pretty clear. Kraken ran into a little run of cloudiness on their clear sets that I'm told cleans up when people polish them. I think polishing them might clean them up. But I don't know. It could just be the color.
Personally, the main reason why I say it, I don't think it's really going to matter. It's like, yeah, the surface area is kind of dirty, but at the same time, I think it's because they added a glitter due to the Mystic. Is because if you look, there's actually a bit more of a glitter to the
I would
new
imagine
one?
there would be, because their Mystic line tends to
Have that
glitter.
clouded holo glitter.
I thought it had the holo glitter, but these don't appear to.
It's not an overabundance. It's very light on the glitter, which is not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing either.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a horrible set.
No,
but I expected it to be more like Ethereal Shaman.
Mm-hmm. I think what I was mostly hoping for was like a nice swirl, almost like the legendary dice. Is having that nice pearlescent swirl just kind of swooping through. This just felt like they added the glitter to the resin and an earthquake hit it and shook the living crap out of it.
And it falls into something Kraken's been doing more and more often is the coloring of their sets. They're going with these very pastel colors that I'm not a big fan of. You know, to each their own. That's not my thing.
It's like the difference between high resolution and low resolution. Is like you appreciate something that is crisp and clean and clear is because it just feels more vibrant and clean.
Yeah.
Is when you just start blurring and muddling things out, it's not as exciting. You almost have to squint and be like, what the fuck?
I mean, it could also be that, you know, those were 800 of those.
That is also fair.
More care could have been put into that.
Yeah.
We can't speak for what goes on at the factory. 3,000 of these were made.
Printed, yeah.
And just like the Bugaboo, the Mystic Shaman is still available from KrakenDice.com.
Still have a little bit of time to pick them up if you would like to add them to your collection.
In the short term, most of the collectability has dropped except for the earlier sets. You're not getting the ridiculous prices that you were getting on some of them. In the long run, every set Kraken produces is going to have some level of collectability, because every single set is going to end up being a limited edition.
Yeah, it scales, and the lower the quantity that was printed, obviously it builds a supply and demand. Especially for those of us who have missed out on it, like myself. He bought these when they first came out.
Yes.
I had to fetch a premium and a trade, and then I bought these when they were first released. And I'll probably end up picking these up regardless, just so I can continue my collection in the color scheme. But
yeah, my first set of Kraken was Iconic Blue, and my second set of Kraken was Ethereal Shaman when they were released.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
my favorite color scheme.
The cases, if you all are not aware, well, first of all, the Kraken was hand painted by Mike.
Yeah, I painted the Kraken logo, so I knew where the lid
But those
was.
cases are available from KrakenDice.com as well. I believe they're about $5 a piece. If you buy them in bulk, the price
a little
goes
bit
down.
cheaper. That, and also some people might not know how many dice these actually hold. These will hold every single one of these. You kind of have to shake them to get even like the small 15 millimeter, except for the 30 millimeter. They will not house these. I tend to fill them and then stack the giant one on top of it so I can keep them in organized. Can't talk today, but if anything, we'll leave links down below. You guys can question, comment. If you want us to review anything, or you want to send us something to review, feel free, contact us.
You know, what's your favorite dice that you'd like us to show off? If we have them, we will.
Absolutely. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. We're trying to build a larger audience. We've been toying at the fact and idea that at 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna get this guy a tattoo. I'm all tattooed up because I'm prior military.
I don't have one yet.
He doesn't have one yet, and I want to get him one. Just kind of, I want to get him something nice that he's something always wanted.
Nothing crazy.
I will film this. I will edit this, and I'm going to laugh probably almost the entire time.
I will say though, I do have a pretty high pain threshold. So,
perfect.
So it might be okay.
We're not too different, him and I. But worst case scenario, we'll catch you guys next time.
If you would like to check out more from Strange Aeon Games, you can go to our website at strangeaeongames.com. sign up and receive notices on new posts and new projects, as well as information about tabletop knowledge. You can also browse our store for accessories and apparel, which some are exclusive only to our store.